Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Joyful Rogue and I present to you the round of 8 of Scrolls Invitational between 11.5 feet and Slin. 11.5 feet is Mateusz Roszkowski from Poland, he is playing Order, and Slin is Frederick Persson from Sweden, and he's also playing Order. This is gonna be an Order versus Order match, which means there's gonna be a lot of interesting strategic decisions, a lot of one player having the board advantage and the other one trying to come back with mangonel speed. Let's see how this turns out. As we see now, 11.5 feet is the starting player in this game, so he will be able to play his skirmishers first, and Slin may be trailing behind. The decks of both players are very similar. The only difference I have really noticed is that 11.5 feet seems to be playing both flip and pushback, maybe depending on the matchup, he chooses either pushback or flip, and Slin does not have a flip in his deck, he has only pushback as a strategic option that is additional to the normal standard Order stuff which both players have. 11.5 feet plays his skirmisher on turn 3, Slin has a slower starting hand with his skirmisher that will be played only next turn. So right from the beginning, 11.5 feet takes the board advantage while Slin has more cards as the second player. 11.5 feet sacrificing his flip, he doesn't need it, he's just gonna play those skirmishers and then probably a spearman next turn. Interesting decision, very good decision to keep those skirmishers on the second and fourth lane. This way he can attack any spot on the map by just moving a skirmisher for one spot. This is usually how you should be controlling the map if you have 2 units on the board only. Right now Slin has no safe place to put his units, he puts his skirmisher next to 11.5 feet, but this skirmisher will attack first. So Slin is in trouble. Now 11.5 feet will probably protect his skirmisher with a spearman. He sacrifices for cards instead of orders, so he will not be rushing for Imperial resources. He prefers to have good options to play each turn to keep his board advantage. Probably a good choice. Now Slin is gonna be sacrificing for Order. Let's see what he gets rid of. He gets rid of his general. He doesn't need to, but he is actually sacrificing for Order. Wow, that was quite a decision from him. Now he cannot really play anything. He doesn't play anything. He could have played Speed Focus to kill the Spearman, but is that really worth it? So Slin basically took a risk, sacrificing for cards, hoping to draw something that will protect his skirmisher. He hoped to draw something and he got really unlucky. Now he's gonna be in huge trouble with his skirmisher dying for free without doing anything. And 11.5 feet will have solid board advantage right now. Interesting how he moved his spearman down, probably wants to transfer him to the bottom lane to protect the bottom lane if need be. Now Slin is definitely going to be sacrificing for Order right now. He gets rid of his transposition and probably going to play the Vanguard, but where will he play it? On the very top, hoping that the Vanguard will survive a little bit longer than the skirmisher. Now 11.5 feet has 2 scholars, probably going to play one, sacrifice one. You almost never want to sacrifice focus as an Order player. You always keep it in hand. Nice, Imperial Resources is such a good draw for him. Although 11.5 feet sacrificed for cards right now, so he is 2 turns away at least from playing those resources. Still, it's an amazing draw. You really want to have one Imperial Resource to transition into a strong mid-game. Especially because now Slin has the card advantage, and look at Slin's hand right now. He already has Mangonel Speed Focus. He just doesn't have the resources to play it. He has only 5 Order because he has been sacrificing for cards all the time, hoping to draw something that will save his butt from all this pressure 11.5 feet is putting at him. But now he will be going straight for Order, sacrificing for Order every turn, hoping to play this Mangonel Speed Focus as soon as possible and maybe somehow get back on the field. Get back the board advantage. 11.5 feet will be threatening this general right now. With the focus he can kill the general, he cannot kill the Vanguard, but it's probably gonna be a good decision to actually kill the general. Let's see if he sacrifices for order or for scrolls. If he sacrifices for order, he goes for Imperial resources. If he sacrifices for scrolls, he may find something like another focus that will allow him to kill the Vanguard. He sacrifices for order. He wants those Imperial resources. Now, obviously, he's gonna play focus and the skirmisher. There's no reason not to. Question is, will he move this row up? Because that would make him a little bit more vulnerable against mangonels. Yes, he moves them up. Interesting. It makes him more vulnerable against mangonels. It also makes him not able to reach the bottom row of Slin. But maybe he wants to put pressure on these two idols with this row. I'm not sure why he moved this. I'm not really sure. Now, Slin is able to play mangonel speed focus, but is it really worth it? He will be spending 3 cards to kill only 2. He doesn't have a pother to get 11.5 feet units to clump up more. He doesn't have a flip in his deck at all. He top decks another mangonel and he sacrifices for order, hoping to play this mangonel combo later. A very sketchy play from Slin, hoping to God that he will be able to play those mangonels. He needs 10 resources to actually play those double mangonel speed focus combo. So he's basically praying for Imperial resources. Nothing else will save him. 11.5 feet has his Imperial resources ready to play, so that will be a powerful transition into a strong mid and late game. You always want to play these when you reach 7 resources. Now, Slin is top decking Imperial resources, exactly what he was hoping for, exactly what can save his bacon in this situation. Now, his Vanguard is still probably dead, but at least in 2 turns you will be able to play double mangonel speed focus. That costs 10 order. Oh, he can play it next turn, because he still can't sacrifice for order right now. So next turn it's going to be a powerful mangonel turn. Interesting decision to move him down. Maybe he was hoping that 11.5 feet will clump his units even more closer together. He'll probably not do that. He'll probably not bite the bait and spread his units to the 2nd and 4th row, just as he did in the beginning. Interesting thing that 11.5 feet has 5 cards, but none of them are units. So if Slin cleans up the board with mangonels, 11.5 feet may not have anything to play, and he will be stuck with only spells in his hand. Let's see how it turns out. Obviously this Vanguard is dead right now, and there will be even more idle damage coming up, and Slin will be able to play his combo. What will he decide to kill though? He can play focus only on one of those mangonels. He'll probably decide to kill the Night Scholar and the Skirmisher with that focused mangonel, and then the other mangonel could kill this Skirmisher and then damage the other one. I have probably predicted it correctly. It seems like this mangonel is in range of these 2 units, the Skirmisher and the Knight. And he focuses it, he plays the 2nd mangonel to kill the Skirmisher and damage the other one. That's the best he could hope for. 11.5 feet still has the unit advantage on the board, and has the card advantage as well, but he doesn't draw another unit, so he needs units right now. He sacrifices for cards, and oh my gosh, he still cannot play any units. It's crazy, he has only spells. He's gonna pother to hope to top deck something else, and he still doesn't have a unit. He still doesn't have any. Wow, what will he play? Will he actually... He transpositions to draw a card as well. Is that gonna be a unit? Oh my gosh, the top of the deck is really trolling him right now. 2 focuses, pother, and a pushback when he needs units to play. He needs to fill the board up with new units, with fresh recruits. He's probably gonna play, yes, he's playing Blessing of Haste to kill those mangonels. You don't want to leave them on the field to tick down their timer and be scary once more in 3 turns. Now Slin has a unit to play, so that could be his opportunity to come back to the field. The question is, will he actually sacrifice the Blessing of Haste? He does, something you almost never want to do. But in this case, he just needs a lot of units. He wants to throw as much on the field as possible, playing the Skirmisher as well. And now Slin, for the very first time, has the more powerful board presence. But now 11.5 feet is top decking a general, very nice top deck. Probably gonna just drop him on the field. He's also playing the Blessing of Haste, and will he focus? He focuses to kill the Knight. Will he do another focus to kill the Skirmisher? Probably will. Yes, he does. So all those spells actually were very useful right now. But that's the problem, he cannot play a general right now. He can, oh, he can, yeah, never mind. He can still sacrifice for order. Never mind, he can play his general. He's fine, he's doing good. He's got an amazing board presence again. And Slin doesn't have anything on the field. He has only one card. He is in huge trouble. Slin did his best to come back to this game, but he just couldn't keep up. He just couldn't get anything to stick to the board. Now he's got two spearmen. He's probably going to sacrifice one of them. Yes, he does. And he's got double spearman skirmisher. A very nice defensive setup, but a setup that doesn't deal any solid damage. He's just going to throw everything on the board probably. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He'll throw everything on the board in hopes of actually dealing at least some damage to 11.5 feet before his units die. 11.5 feet probably doesn't need this pushback right now. This is, yes, he sacrificed the pushback, and he'll probably play the Imperial Resources. There's no reason not to, really. Yep, he does, and there's no reason to do Blessing of Haste right now. He's gonna walk away from Slin's units, move his army down. The general's probably gonna move with those two units, so the next turn he will be able to play the Blessing of Haste on the generals, rallying these two units as well as himself. Although these units will attack by themselves, they don't need a general. I bet you that 11.5 feet is really hoping to draw a Vanguard next turn, so that he will be able to play the Vanguard and then haste the general to rally the Vanguard, increasing everyone's attack as well. That would be a really powerful turn. Let's see if he can top deck that Vanguard. Slin has double focus in his hand, nothing else. He couldn't play a unit. That is a horrible turn for him. He really needs to be throwing a lot of units on the field every turn. This is the worst case scenario for him, because most probably his units will not survive the turn. 11.5 decides to play a mangonel with speed to kill these two units on the back line. A very good choice. Slin is in a huge trouble. The top of the deck was really not favorable for him. The top deck was really screwed him over, really, because he doesn't have any units now. He has only the spearmen. He could play double focus on the spearmen, but that's such a waste. That is such a horrible waste. He draws a Vanguard, probably wants to keep it, so one of the focuses will be sacrificed for cards. Yes, that's exactly what he does. Now, he can play Vanguard Skirmisher and the Podder as well, or maybe... Well, a focus on the focus will not kill the general right now. He could Podder the Spearman and actually kill the Skirmisher with focus, but is it really worth it? Probably not. It's this situation for Slin right now, the situation where there are no good moves. Whatever you do, you are in trouble. But why did he play the Vanguard in the front? I don't understand. Why wouldn't he keep the Spearman in the front? I mean, the Spearman is the defensive unit. It should be in front. I don't understand. I do not understand. Now this general is attacking. Thanks to Slin's Podder, this general didn't rally anyone, but he's still gonna deal 4 damage. With this Kabong, the Vanguard will just die. So unfortunate. Maybe Slin was hoping that the Vanguard will survive General's hit, and that's why he put him in the front, because the Vanguard would be the only unit that can survive General's hit. Unfortunately, 11.5 feet had a Kabong, so there you go, the Vanguard is dead. 11.5 feet has a solid board advantage right now. The idols will begin to die. Speaking of idols dying, the general could have actually killed the second idol, but 11.5 feet decides to go for units instead. He decides to still keep his board advantage, still keep the Slin side of the board clean. It's pretty much always a good decision when you're playing against Order to keep their board as clear as possible, especially to kill those aggressive units like Vanguards, like Skirmishers. You always want to clean the board of those. Because of how powerful Order spells are, Focus, Haste, you never know when those Order units will be hasted and focused to clear your side of the board. So it's probably a good decision for 11.5 feet to keep attacking the units. Now Slin has a focus but no haste. He cannot go offensive this turn. He'll probably play the General and Infantryman. Those are the most powerful 2 units that he can bring to the field. Yes, he plays general and infantryman. Infantryman on the very top, just to avoid the mangonel. This mangonel will hit those two squares if it gets rallied right now, so Slin is doing his best to avoid the damage from the mangonel. 11.5 feet has no transposition to actually move this mangonel, so it will probably waste its attack if 11.5 feet decides to rally it now. But he could just play a double Vanguard, and that would be a very powerful choice. Imagine that double Vanguard being rallied by a general, buffing everyone's attack. That would be crazy. Both Vanguards would be 5 damage, and the general would actually have 10... No, the general would have 8 damage. That would be a powerful idol-killing thing. But as it stands, 11.5 it actually decides to go aggressive with a speed, will kill the general because of the Vanguard buff, and will kill the infantryman as well. Doing an amazing job keeping Slin's side of the board clean. Slin just cannot keep anything on the board for this entire game. From the very beginning, when he received a slower starting hand and couldn't really play anything, and took that risk, sacrificing 4 cards, hoping to get something to play, and he couldn't. From the very beginning, the top of the deck has been really trolling Slin. Slin had very unfortunate draws in this game and just couldn't keep up with 11.5 feet's aggression. And now this game is becoming over every turn. Slin cannot hope to defend this bottom idol, which means he has to deal with a general and a vanguard being aggressive on the top. If 11.5 feet had a speed, he would finish this game right now, but he cannot do it. There is just... Oh, he can kill the second idol right now. And then all that would remain would be to kill the bottom. That could be the best choice right now. But he decides to play a mangonel instead. And then a vanguard in front of the mangonel to keep it alive. He'll probably not go aggressive with the Blessing of Haste this turn and instead decide to play the Blessing of Haste on the general next turn, being for an even more powerful attack. This may be the better choice because now Slin still has to summon his units on the top, still has to leave the bottom idol undefended if he wants to have any hope of holding off that general vanguard attack that is coming next turn. He potters the vanguard, probably for no big reason, just wants to draw a card. And now he draws another Kabonk. Probably just gonna Kabonk to draw a card as well. Yep, he just plays it on a general, and now he has a transposition, another card, not that useful, but he may just use it to draw a card again. Interesting decision to play that Spearman on the top. He probably wants to move him down right now to protect his more wounded idol. Yep, he does. He puts him down on the second row. And now does 11.5 feet win the game? The bottom idol is definitely dead. Now this with haste will kill the Spearman. But let's see, a pushback actually gets rid of the Spearman. And now if 11.5 feet just puts the general in the back... interesting. Can he do it here? Oh, look at this. He actually can't do it. Oh, yeah, he can't do it yet. Wow. Look at this. The Vanguard will waste his damage. General will waste his damage on the Spearman, on the Skirmisher, and then the Vanguards cannot deal 4 damage yet. Because there's no room to move this... Oh, there you go. Double focus. Nah. Double focus from the top of the deck saves the day. Saves the faulty setup of 11.5 feet. What he needed to do is move the infantryman down instead of the vanguard. That would work out. But with the double focus top deck, it also works out. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The first game goes to 11.5 feet. Stay around for the next game of this epic best of 3 series. Let's see what Slin can bring to the table when the top of his deck doesn't troll him anymore, when he has more fortunate draws. Stay around for the second game.